And the New Year's Day killing of Esme Barrera at home on King Street north of UT has gotten a big response from the Austin community. Her killer, as you know, is still at large. So joining us in studio is Police Chief Art Acevedo, who woke up extra early for us this morning. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just going to ask you right off the bat, any new developments in the case?
None. Well, we have a lot of tips that we're working, and I can tell you that the homicide detectives and other detectives from other units are actually working the case to hopefully try to break it. Somebody knows something, and fortunately criminals like to talk, so I'm sure that there's somebody out there that has a tip that can lead to this arrest.
You talked about the homicide detectives. They have a great success rate in this city for solving murders, but it is still a small unit. Do you have enough police officers out there?
Well, I mean, I think that what the conversation has to be taken in the city is that we just need to educate people. People think that we have an overabundance of resources, that we have a bottomless pit of police officers, and we don't. We're a very lean department. I've never complained that we don't have enough officers, but I think that folks have to be educated on how we stack up to the rest of the nation, especially when sometimes there's discussions about cutting back on police staffing.
That day, New Year's Day, there was a lot going on, and there was, I'm sure, a lot of calls that you received that day. You also had the no refusal that you were went into effect. So were there not enough police officers when the call came out?
Well, I mean, think about it. It's New Year's. I was actually there that night working patrol.
Yes, you are.
It was New Year's Eve. It's at the time that this incident went down, these incidents went down, we had calls all over the city going on. We had calls pending, stacked up, and I always tell folks if they want to be educated on the Austin Police Department and our needs or exactly what we're facing, the real face of Austin, especially at night, they need to come out on a ride-along, and they'll see for themselves that it is a hard-working department with a lot of challenges.
Do you think that if you had more officers that were there on the streets that day, that you would have a person of interest already?
Well, you know, it's hard to say, but you'll notice with Mr. Dominguez, we were very fortunate that when that incident went down, we put out a hot shot. We had enough clear units at that time to saturate the area, and we were able to, thanks to a very smart sergeant that spotted two guys getting into a taxi, we're able to catch the bad guys, and so it's all about resources. I'm never going to say that we don't have enough, but I think that before we start talking about reducing the size of the department, which is somewhat of a conversation going on, people need to be educated on how we stack up, and we're pretty lean compared to the rest of the country.
Is that conversation going on now here in Austin?
Well, it started last year during the budget process, and I think that one of the things we're doing now that the council, mayor and council have given us some funding to actually conduct a staffing study, that proposal is going out this week, and we're hoping to get some feedback so they can make some educated decisions.
You come from a big city, and just knowing we're starting to see, I'll say it's some big city crime.
Well, it is a big city crime, and you know, I think that it's really important for people to realize that we get lulled because we are such a safe city, and to a sense of security that you know, you still have to be cautious out there. You know, we've got close to 1 million people. We have a huge metropolitan area. We have a large transit population. People come and go, and you have to be vigilant.
Right. Let's put up the sketch of the person of interest that you're still looking for in this case. There are websites, Chief, and there is lots of rumor and chatter about comparing this sketch to other sketches. Are you looking into other cases?
Our folks are. There's no rock that they're leaving unturned. They're looking at all kinds of different cases, at alarms, burglaries, you name it, they're looking at it, and we know that somebody is going to recognize this person, and you know, at the end of the day, we're a safe city because we have a good police department, but more importantly, we have a community that is engaged, it's involved, and it's willing to stand up for its neighbors.
This sketch of that person and that person who is well, there are no witnesses to Esme's murder, but this guy is wanted from being in that area?
Well, he's a person of interest, so we don't know whether he's involved or not, but the bottom line, he's somebody that we're very interested in finding to speak with, and we're hopeful that someone here in the near future will be able to bring some justice to Esme and her family. For
the women in that neighborhood and just the families, do you have a lot of officers who are in that area now?
We do have officers in that area, and you know, again, our patrol officers have only 26% of their time is free. Most of the time they're just patrolling. We are very much an intelligence-led policing department where we move resources, and that's what we're constantly doing. We are always looking to see what's going on in our neighborhoods, and we move resources trying to anticipate where crime's happening and to try to prevent it, and hopefully we will be able to keep that neighborhood safe and move forward.
Yeah, I know they're wrapping me up. I have to ask this one question. This guy's pretty brazen. what are the chances that he will strike again?
You know what? Anybody that's willing to take a life is somebody you need to be worried about. And not only that, we're not only looking at this case, but to see if there's anything from previous cases that may help us connect some dots. So be careful out there. Be aware. If you see something suspicious, please call the police. Don't take things for granted.
Okay, 911 or 311 if you see the person.
If you see something suspicious, if you see something that's a concern, call 911. We'll be there.
Okay, Chief, thank you so much for joining us this morning, a friend of the show, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you.